how do you program for a fitness competition?
I'll let you kick this one off.
So we are actually we've just hosted a competition.
Yeah.
We've just run a barbell competition, and we are just about to go live with the Process Summer Throwdown, which is an annual competition, online comp, 3 weeks, 6 workouts that we do every year.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been behind programming. I'm always kind of behind, I guess. I have a part to play in every competition that we run, and I do really, really love programming for competitions. So I think the very first question I'm always going to ask myself with fitness competition is, what are we trying to achieve with this competition?
Yeah.
So an example with the barbell meet that we just ran, the goal was inclusivity.
Yeah.
So we actually wanted to create a competition. It was a team competition, but we wanted to allow beginners, intermediates, and advanced athletes to be on the same teams, throw down and have some fun. Hong Kong hadn't had a competition in 2.5 years. So the goal wasn't necessarily to find the fittest or the strongest team. It was like, how can we create a competition that allows all these people to train together and have fun? Now the Summer Throwdown, that's different.
Yeah.
Like the parameters for the Summer Throwdown there are prerequisites for each competition, for each division that we're running, which means that people have to be in the CrossFit space. They have to be somewhat capable people, or I should say capable athletes within the movements that we see in the sport. Yeah. And the goal is essentially over 6 workouts to find the fittest individual in each of the categories, male and female. So that for me makes it a lot easier instantly. So the next question is, well, what test do we need to see if we want to find the fittest individual? So that's where we're looking. I'm always going to look for, like, how can we make this as balanced as possible? So we don't want to just bias workouts to find the strongest athlete. That's not the intention. We don't want to bias workouts to find the aerobically the fittest athlete. That's not the intention. We don't want to bias the workouts to find the best gymnast. So we need to try to find a way. And in this case, we have 6 tests for the Summer Throwdown, which is nice because you've got more variety then.
We've got more opportunities.
More opportunity to test. The first thing I would do is, okay, what are the tests that I want to make sure I cover over these 6 tests? So categories might be something like an absolute strength test. Another category might be like a long aerobic test. Another test might be like a barbell battery test where you're working at like moderately heavy loads over and over again. Another test may be like, I want to see a sprint test. So something below 4 minutes, something short, fast, high output. Something might be like a fatigue-based Olympic lift, strength speed test. So the next thing I would do is kind of write out all the tests that I want to make sure I cover.
Nice.
And then it's a simple matter of like, okay, then thinking about, well, what movements do I actually want to test? So something we thought about with the Summer Throwdown is, because of a lot of the people taking part in the Summer Throwdown are our Process Programming subscribers, which means that they are training with us every week. Yeah. They've been following our training cycle, training program. So with the design for this program, for this competition, I wanted to factor in what our athletes have actually been doing. So for example, our compete athletes haven't really been doing any ring muscle ups so far this season. They've been doing a lot of like dipping, doing a lot of pull-ups, doing a lot of like chest to bar technique work, but we haven't done any ring muscle ups. So therefore, putting ring muscle ups into competition, have we really set up our athletes for success? Yeah. Not only in terms of performance, but also in terms of health. You know, like, do we want to be throwing them onto rings when they haven't done a ring muscle up potentially in 2-3 months? No. So next would be going through all the divisions. What movements do we want to be testing? So now we're narrowing things down. We have clarity on what we're trying to achieve. We have clarity on the tests that we want to test. Then we have clarity on the movements that we want to test within those tests. And then, just like in program design, it's just putting it all together. Yeah. So, that's the process. Have you anything I missed out?
Just 2 things that what I took from that, which was really good. I mean, 2 principles that we talk about all the time is, well, 1, reverse engineering, right? Nice. It's like taking something and we now know what we want. Let's just work backwards from there.
Yes.
The second principle that I took from that was the client-centric approach, where we were now talking about, well, should we really be testing, like the words that you used was, well, we want to set our client up for success. And I think that's a really important note to go off of, is as coaches, you want to be setting your client up for success, right? So that just goes back to that client-centric approach, which I really liked.
Yeah. And I also think it's like too often competition programmers get so wrapped up in like trying to redefine the wheel, you know, like
redefine what fitness is.
Yeah. Right? And it's like, you know, coming up with unnecessary complex movements, you know, programming the hardest, most complex things like, you know, maybe pistols or, you know, freestand handstands, which look really cool when you can do them, But at the end of the day, generally speaking, I generally always lean towards, I want this to be a good expression of fitness. You know, I would say, sometimes it's good to test skills. But, you know, if I only have 6 tests, do I want one of those tests to be a very, very high skill workout? Maybe not. I think maybe if I was programming for the CrossFit Games and I've got
a different story, right?
10, 12 tests, then you've got more opportunity to get a little bit more creative, a little bit more fancy, a little bit crazy with your programming.
Nice.